morning, good morning. We've had church already. Who needs to have anything more? Wow. And David, thank you for that. That really put it together. And every one that's spoken and the singing has talked about the flow and how life simply flows by itself, whether we approve of it or not, whether we like it or not. And I know whenever I fight with reality, who wins? Reality, every time. And when I suffer because I don't like what's going on, I'm the only one that's suffering because reality doesn't care. Reality is just doing its thing. Life is flowing like a river, always. And the river is continuously flowing, and if we want to stop the river, you can't. You can fight the river and you can drown in the process. And the river flows muddy at times, clear at times, hot or cold. And that's what life gives us, all of this texture and change. And it moves us, it provokes us, and it knocks off our rough edges. And it makes us better people as we rise to the occasion, as we meet life as it comes. The problem is we don't like to be out of control. At least I don't. I want life to show up the way I want it. Not maybe the way you want, but I want it to be this way. And so we've developed strategies. And these strategies are very old, very old. This goes back through our DNA. If you look at little kids, little babies already have that strategy in place. If you think about the two strategies babies use the best, and they're masters at getting what they want and control. The first thing they do is they look up at you with those big bright eyes and smile. And it lights up the room and it breaks your heart open and you go, oh, I'll give you whatever you want. And it works. And we continue that strategy into adulthood. Now there's another strategy that isn't quite so nice. It's like, I want my food or my diaper changed now. And you will do it now. And this anger energy comes up. It's the wah, wah, and it stops us, all of us. And we know that energy also, and we use it. And so most of us have matured, not very much in my case, but most of us have matured. And we still use those strategies. You know, I try the nice approach. And when that doesn't work, I sort of ramp it up a little bit and start to get a little... I go, wow. I'm trying to control life the way it's happening. I'm simply trying to control it. Now, a good friend of mine, this master teacher, when I first heard him speak, he said, all suffering in life is a result of not wanting to have the experience that I'm having right now. I suffer because I don't like the feeling I'm having. I don't like what's happening in my thoughts. I don't like what's happening right now. I want to change it. I want to get back into control. And so I do everything I can to try to make life safe and comfortable for myself. It's a good strategy because when I feel safe and comfortable, I am open and I'm feeling good. There's this undercurrent within every one of us. This strategy way down deep. And the strategy that's just constantly scanning, our mind is constantly scanning the whole environment, life as the river is coming at us, it's scanning. Am I safe? And do I matter? Am I safe? And do I matter? And do I matter has to do with, am I lovable? Do I belong? And that is so, so important. Do I matter and do I belong? And the first one is, am I safe? And so when we look at life as it flows, and it constantly is flowing, and it's said in Zen, when you dip your toe into the river, you can never dip your toe into the same river twice, because it's constantly changing and moving. So as life is moving towards us, notice as we become more aware that it's this constant, am I safe? And am I connected? Am I lovable? Do I matter? And so our whole fight with life is to try to get those needs met. Am I safe and do I matter? And so we fight with life and we try to control life so we get that need met, so we feel this safety. And we are always looking on the outside. I'm looking for a reflection that I'm okay. I'm looking at a reflection from everybody in the crowd right now as I'm speaking. Am I okay? Or can I know at some core level that who I am, and I don't know who I am, has always been okay, and I have no idea what that is. And that's pointing to the mystery of who we all are when we really start to look. But our habit, obviously, is to always look out, and that's important. Otherwise, we get hit by a bus. So it's, and I don't want to say thinking, it's more like feeling our way into life. How do we feel? And if we start feeling our way into life rather than looking for validation, but feeling validation, and that validation can come from our pets, from the trees, from the clouds, from everything. Yet we tend to look for sapiens that look like us. I was at a protest yesterday. It's my weekly protest. 15 brave souls got out, and we were with our signs, and it was hot. And I'm standing there, and I'm thinking, not a good idea. And in my thinking, I am judging the cars. About 2,000 cars go by. And I'm judging, well, they didn't honk. I'm waving and I'm just dancing away and, oh, they gave me the finger. Yeah, and I'm still waving and I'm going, and it's hot and I'm uncomfortable. And, and I don't quite feel real safe and I want to control the situation. I went, oh, look, I'm doing it. I'm fighting against life. This should go into the talk. And there I was. For all I know and for all the work I've done, there I am. Sweetheart, you're doing it again. But this time, I can thank everything for waking me up to I'm doing it again. I am judging and I'm fighting life. Now, how do I stop it? How do I drop it? That's the tricky part. Because we're so attached to what we think we want. Now, I'm going to ask you a serious question. How do you catch a monkey? Maybe some of you know. The villagers know, if you take a coconut, drill a small hole in it, just so the monkey can get its hand in the hole, put some jackfruit in the coconut. Monkey's hand goes in, grabs the fruit, stuck. Can't get it out. Now the coconut's tied to a rope, so the villagers just have to wait because the monkey's not going anywhere. It's just stuck. It won't let go. I know some people like that. Perhaps you do too, where we won't let go. And so the villagers come out, put a net over the monkey, crack the coconut open, monkey's hand comes out, eats the fruit, but now the monkey's caught and is in jail to be sold or to be eaten or whatever's going to happen to the poor monkey. So the monkey knows it's caught. The monkey is fighting reality and doesn't know how to let go and be safe. And that seems counterproductive. How do I let go of control to actually gain control? That's the tough part. Letting go of control to gain control. Because what is it that I really, really want? Is it the control or the feeling of being at peace or being loved, to being accepted, to being safe, to being held in that embrace that we knew as children when we felt really loved at times? Last night I was watching motocross. It's the eighth race in the series. Eli Tomac, my favorite guy, won. And I watched him in the sand pits. This was at Daytona. At Daytona Beach, they bring sand in, and there's these big pits, and they're just like, you can barely even walk through them, let alone fly through them at 60 miles an hour. And I'm watching the riders in competition, and they're coming up to the sand pits. And every time you go through the sand pits, it's a crapshoot. You don't know if you're going to make it or not. And so you see these guys coming through, and they're holding on, and they're really tight. And Eli just, I'm going to say some words, he just doesn't give a shit. He just goes. He just launches in, and the bike is going, choo, 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 choo. And he's steady as a rock and trusts the bike and the experience and the ability. He simply trusts what's there. And it looks totally out of control. He's flopping all over, but he's the fastest guy through the sand. So in a way, I'm watching him lose control in order to gain what he really wants, which is to win. So by letting go of some of the control and the precision, and letting life dance beneath him, it's faster. It works. What if we were to tell the monkey that? If you just let go, you'll be free, and maybe you can find a piece of jackfruit somewhere else. So here we are at this dilemma. How do we let go and let life flow? Or are we going to hold on to the fruit to our demise? And when we have a movement like MAGA, and people who don't realize that they have their hand inside the coconut, and they're not willing to let go, and it's hurting them, but they continue to hold on. That's a tough one. And it comes back to, what is it that I really, truly want? Do I want peace? Or do I want to be right? Do I want to continue holding on? That's our question. I have no easy answer. How do you let go? Well, you just do it. But how? Well, you just do it. But I don't know how. Show me. Well, you just drop it. Normally, we don't just drop it unless there's something better we want to hold on to. We want to grab onto. When we're holding on to something like this, we're in a trance. This is my source. What I have holding on and what I'm fighting against is my source. I want this. I need it. And we have in a trance, and we have forgotten that that is not our source. Our source is something much more mysterious and grand. And by letting go, we can start to feel and start to trust something bigger, something that's beyond us. Something that's truly has been living the river and the life and us all along. We've never been separate from the river. We are in the river. We are of the river. And we pretend to be separate, and we fight the river. And it's a great game we play. Now there's this serenity prayer, and it's in the bathroom, and I see it. It's above the toilet if you want to check it out. And it says, grant me the serenity. You probably know the whole thing. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So simple. But I'm not going to accept those things. No way. They're wrong. I'm right. Maybe you don't have to accept it. Maybe you can just allow it to be. You know, if you think about a desert and there is a cactus bush over there, way over there, you know, you don't have to go up and touch it. You don't even have to accept it. Just don't go near it. Just let it be. So, can we let the things that we can't change, can we just let them be? Do we have to fight against them? No. But we can show up and we can be resistant. We can be in resistance with an open heart. Because Martin Luther King Jr. is such an example of that. To be beaten and to be bitten that many times. And he was arrested 27 times, and he was beaten more than that. And to continue doing that, it's powerful. Also, the courage to change the things we can change. Because that might go against our safety. But there's something that calls us, that impels us, that leads us on a path, that grows us in such a way, and these are our interests. And our interests, we think are our own, but we don't know where our interests come from. We don't know why we're interested in music, or we're interested in politics, or we're interested in motorcycles, or we're interested in cooking. But they arise. And those are ours to do. And so when we move in that direction, that's the flow of life. And when we fight the flow of life, it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of struggle. So what is it going to take to let go and trust the river, that we can float and that the river always takes us? And that's really the essence of this whole talk is, what if we were just to let go and trust the river? What would that look like in your life? You know, to break the trance of our own thinking and to simply, I've had enough. I'm just letting go. And that doesn't mean to be insensitive. It actually means to be more sensitive. Because in the let go, you're actually starting to feel. You're sort of dropping out of your head into your heart. You're feeling, what is it that I truly want? And letting that be your guide. I'm running out of time. I'm not going to tell the story of cement. You don't mess with cement. Oh, well, just a little bit about cement. Cement is crushed up rock, and it's cooked. And when you add water to it, see, when the rock gets crushed up and cooked, and all the water is evaporated, and there's water in rock. When you add water, it turns back into rock again. That's cement. That's the chemistry of it. And you don't control cement. Cement controls you. You add water to it. Anybody that's worked with cement, it starts to go off. It sets off, and oh no, I've got a whole driveway, and it's getting hard here, and it's soft over there. And so in order to work with cement, you have to know the qualities and the properties of cement. When it comes out of the truck, it has to be soft enough so that it spreads out easy. If it's too hard, you have to work too hard. So in order to move with the river, you have to know about the river. You have to know about cement. You really have to watch what's happening. I have to watch myself and how I react to the traffic and to the people coming by, and not to fight it, to simply allow it, and to notice, oh, I'm having these thoughts. Oh, look at that. The cement is too wet right now. I can't touch it. I can't walk on it either. I can let it settle down a little bit, and then I can start to trowel it. But if I trowel it too soon, it's too wet. So I have to be patient. So in this thing about letting life flow, there's a timing for everything. When you work the cement too early, it doesn't work. Too late, it's too hard. But there's that Goldilocks point where it works. So if I leave you with anything else today, it's finding the Goldilocks of your cement story. And it's also, when you put your hand in a coconut, what is it that you really want? Do you want to lose your life, or do you want the jackfruit? And so with all of those are the takeaways. How do I let life flow and be a part of that flow, or am I fighting it? It's as simple as that. We're going to end with this affirmation. Today I let go of demanding life show up the way I want it to. I vow to trust life the way it is, knowing that I will always find my way. I now understand I have always been safe, and I have always mattered. And so it is.